Hi Year 10, hope you're all safe and well. I'm hoping that the majority of you have managed to do most of the tasks that I have set over the last 6 or 7 weeks. Some of you have sent me some fantastic work, so thank you to those people that have. If some of you have got work that you want to show me, please email me. That would be amazing so I can see where we are at and obviously where we're going to be when we're back at school, hopefully in September. For the next 5 weeks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the information that you should have completed over the last few weeks, and also some extra information that you can add on to the work that you have already completed. So for some of you, hopefully this will be just sort of a recap. For some of you, this might be the first time you've seen it, and for others, this is just going to help you add on to what you've already done. Hopefully you've got your fact book in front of you. All this information is in there, but I will also be explaining what you need to do in regards to your assignment that is to do with sports leadership. So the first learning objective is to know the personal qualities, styles, roles and responsibilities of a good leader. So we started looking at this before we left in March. So like I've already said, this will be a little bit of a recap for some of you. So your assignment is worth 9 marks. And what you have to do to achieve those 9 marks is to describe a wide range of sports leadership roles and related responsibilities, and make clear and accurate links between different roles and the personal qualities and leadership styles of those who undertake them. So this can be done as a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation. Totally up to you. You could do it as a big poster, but it does need to have all of the information on it to gain those 9 marks. So, leadership. You need to be able to give a definition of what leadership and what leaders are. So, leadership can be defined as the action of leading a group of people, and leaders hold responsibility and respect and have followers who they can influence. Followers usually being the participants that you are leading. Now I've copy these down in your book, so you can put them in your fact book if they're not already there, or if you want to add a little bit more information, add those in now please. So first task, again some of you might have already done this. Create a spider diagram with all the different sporting leaders you can think of. If you have done it, can you add any more? If you have, you could also start to think about what I've put here, task 2. For each leader, what attributes and characteristics do these people have? So what should and what does a good sports leader look like? So for example, they would need good communication skills. Remember, you would be expected to be a good leader when you are leading your Year 7 group, hopefully in September. So you need to show these good characteristics and know what these good characteristics are so that you can gain a high mark in your leadership as well. So pause the video now and get on with that task. Okay, the different types of leaders. The different types of leaders you need to include in your assignment, you have to include all 6. Are captains, managers, teachers, coaches, expedition leaders and role models, and we're just going to go through each 6 of those now so you get a little bit more information if you are unsure. So a captain helps make decisions for their teams, influences and motivates those around them, and listens to viewpoints of others. So for example, in a rugby captain, they have the responsibility for speaking to the referee about the conduct of their team and to make decisions within the game. A number of captains have the responsibility of making lots of decisions in the game. In your fact book, in line with captain, can you put an example of a good sports captain, whether it's a rugby player, a football player, a tennis player, whatever? Okay, a captain of a particular team. Can you write one down now? Managers help to manage the process and procedures, tactics and strategies for the team. They make decisions, so substitutes, change of positions, change of players, what happens on the day, what happens after the game. Managers should be fair to all their players. Now, some managers are and some managers aren't, but their managers should be fair to all their players. So, for example, football managers make key decisions in the game. They also have a number of media roles to fulfill before and after games. Again, in your fact book, put a good example of a good sports manager and write that down now. Teachers, position of authority. They lead and guide those they are teaching. Teacher of PE can also lead sports teams. So Mr. J, myself, Miss Kahoot, we all have responsibility of different sports teams as well as teaching PE as a profession. Core PE, you need to plan and lead sessions to show progress in learning. PE teachers have a responsibility to make sure everyone is safe and that they are tracking all students to make sure progress is made. Lead decisions that allow students to progress and improve, and you have to have a university degree as a teacher. Again, write down an example of a good PE teacher. Coaches, different to managers. Coaches influence those who they coach. A coach can be on a one-to-one basis or in large groups. They guide performers to maximise strengths and reduce weaknesses. So they don't necessarily look at the skill, they try and improve that skill, whether it be a strength or a weakness. There are a number of official coaching qualifications that you need for particular sports, and they also have a responsibility for the safety of their participants, showing progression, learning of skills that they perhaps need to improve their ability and overall performance, and be able to give positive feedback. For example, Tracy Neville coached the England netball team to gold in the 2018 Commonwealth Games. Write your coach down now. Expedition leaders. This is probably one that some of you aren't well known with. So they influence those in the expedition. So an expedition is like the Duke of Edinburgh that we do at school, or it might be a mountain climb, or it might be a rock climb, something with a high degree of danger. They have significant responsibilities of the group they are leading, for example, guiding them down a mountain or through dangerous terrains, and they help others to lead and take responsibility as a group. Now, if you don't know an expedition leader, leave that blank. Mr. O'Brien used to be our expedition leader, but leave that one blank for now and we'll come back to that in September. Role models. They can be positive and negative. Sports people should act as positive role models, leading and guiding their sport in a positive way. For example, PE teachers need to be positive role models to the students they teach. Another example, Gareth Southgate was seen as a positive role model when leading the England football team in the World Cup. You can make your decision as who you think is a positive role model in sport and think about, just before you put your example, what leadership they show as a positive role model. Okay, pause it now, pause the video now, and obviously go back, recap what I've just said, make sure you've got an example for each. And now we're going to look at the role-related responsibilities. So how can we link these to the 6 leadership roles we've just spoke about? The role-related responsibilities that leaders have: knowledge of activity, enthusiasm for activity, knowledge of safety, knowledge of child protection issues, and knowledge of basic first aid. These are the 5 that you need to include in your assignment. So, knowledge of activities. A leader must know the sport inside out, know all the rules of the sport and be able to answer any questions on rules of the sport and provide advice. Plan appropriate training sessions with developments, thinking about the session and how it's going to progress. Know all the correct techniques and be able to develop skills from basic to advanced. Now, just going back, to these role-related responsibilities, not all of them will be beneficial to all of the leadership groups. So you need to decide which ones will be most important for each type of leader. Enthusiasm for activity. They should show motivation and enthusiasm. Remember, enthusiasm is infectious. It can lead to others being enthusiastic in your session. So when you're leading, you need to make sure that you're enthusiastic the whole way through, and fingers crossed, 9 times out of 10, the children will be the same. Sports leaders should show the same drive and commitment they wish to see from their performers. Knowledge of safety. Teachers, coaches and managers have a responsibility to keep everyone safe in their group. Leaders must take this role seriously at all times. Sports leaders should have the correct knowledge in the following areas, and you can have a read through those now. You need to make sure knowledge of safety is the highest importance, because obviously you don't want any injuries. Knowledge of child protection issues, safeguarding and protecting children from harm. Children should feel safe and supported throughout any session or group. For example, coaches and teachers have to be DBS checked before working with young people. Knowledge of basic first aid. First aid awareness training is important as a sports leader so that you can give basic first aid if needed to. Any major injuries, obviously, you will be supported by the emergency services if needed, and you should be able to find a first aid kit very close by when you are leading. Sports leaders should also have knowledge of preventing injuries in the planning and delivery of sessions. So for each role, you need to decide which role-related responsibilities are the most important for that role and why. Personal qualities that relate to leadership roles. These are all on the screen now. They need to be reliable, fair, have good punctuality so they're not late to games, matches, coaching sessions. Resilience, good knowledge, charisma, be confident, have good communication skills, be creative and reliable. So again, you need to link all of those to each leadership style, so coach, manager, teacher, etc. So, task. Split a piece of paper into 6. Use the different leaders as a heading for each square, so I've done you a little example at the bottom. For each type of leader, add the roles and responsibilities they have as a leader and the physical qualities they should show to make a good leader. So all that information is on this PowerPoint. Once you have put them into your boxes, you can then start writing your assignment. Again, I'll explain. You need to make sure that you use all 6 different leaders, what their roles and responsibilities are, and what physical qualities and attributes they should show as a leader. You also, for top marks out of 9, need to be able to give a good example and explain it. Okay? If you want me to look at any work that you have completed, or if you think you've done this already, please send it along to me and I will have a look at it. My email is dhibbit@johnfernley.org. Each week we will be looking at a different task, a different element, and how this relates to different units of the course. That way, in September, hopefully we will all be on the same track and we can carry on where we left off in March. Speak to you next week. Enjoy. Bye-bye.